All right, I'm going to try to do this kind of as we go, like I've done with some of these other couch videos. I just read the first scene, and it has Tulas Shorn, who is an Edur, right? And runs into this, uh, falls down this place, and then runs into this Talan Imas. I'm just looking for the name, because dang it, what was the name? That's gonna kill me if I don't find it. Um, Skan, Skan All, and she wants to be turned around to see the Jagged, a woman who she's been hunting, or the one that hunted her, whatever. And but the truth is that it's a small Jagged infant behind her, and she's been like fossilized and like attached to the ground or something. And I think this is a great way to start this, because it goes back to changed expectations. We've had this with the Jagged were the first ones, I think, that we were so scared of race getting getting freed, and then we slowly started to see our expectations about the Jagged change. Uh, the Tistandi, Animandarake, I thought he was like the evil bad guy when you first meet him. Um, that definitely wasn't the case. We got that with the whole thing with I thought the Tist Edur were going to be that, and I love the Tist Edur. Love the Tist Edur. And the Leosin kind of seemed like that, but there are definitely, elements about the culture that are messed up, but there are great Leosins, and look what happened with Karsa and all these uh, all these changes in Apsalara from the last book. So much of this book is about growth, and I mean, not for everyone, but we're seeing a little bit of that in Karsa. Like, are we going to get that in the end with the crippled god? I still, it's wild. Like, how far does it go? And I think it's cool that we get that here, because she's going to have her mind, her head turned as a show of compassion, with, but in the end, it's showing her that she's been, she thought she was hearing the breathing of the woman coming after her, I guess, but it's the bones of this child, and it would probably just make her, it says that she begins howling, and I assume weeping. And anyway, I thought it was a really powerful way to start that highlights some of the things that we've seen from the rest of the series. And in the next clip, I might have a different hairdo, just because I'm going to get a haircut. So don't be jarred. Is that the saying? I get sayings when I press the stop button. I get sayings all wrong all the time. I think I said leap off of your socks or something in the last video. I'm an idiot. But I do have things to say, or I try to. So anyway, see you on the next video, or not the next video, the next clip. All right, not haircut time yet. Man, this next scene was freaking awesome. And Draconis has an awesome sword that Rolata wants. Remember Rolata, the one that was killed by the winged demon, she said. And Ublala was there, and he's hitting on her. And they are talking about freaks. The last part of this just like blew my mind, so I forgot what they were talking about up to that. But it was very interesting. He makes this. It seems like they're talking a little bit about the futility of of some things happening, or of people being squished like ants, as something bigger is going down, something like that, you know. And then he hears about the Talani Mass, and it just kind of shocks him when she hears about them being undead, and the the whole ritual thing. And at first I didn't know if he is visibly shaken by this, and at first I didn't know if he was mad at Olar Ethiel, who did she do the first one or the second ritual? um but then he seems ticked off at Silver Fox for not releasing the Talan I Mass. And I also got a reminder that it was Silver Fox who gave mortality back to Tool or whatever. But now he's back to his other way. And anyway, that is very interesting. It's very interesting that the Barghast, this is their native land, according to them. This is the native land of everyone, it seems like. The Lethri said this was kind of like their native land. They are almost like an offshoot of that original kingdom, or like a branch of it. The Edur have their little claim to the place. Barghast do, and the Barghast are related to the IMAS, right? So this is really like ground zero for the original kind of kingdom. And Ikarium's city is here, and it looks like the Kachain Chamal and all that. Like, it seems like everything started here and blew up from there. Everyone went to other places. Um, we have the ice fields. And then it's like we're coming back to this convergence where everyone's almost being called home. Where's Carconis, by the way? I know it's like in that dark realm, but does it have a location in this world that they are in? Because it's like the Tist are called back there, and I was thinking, as much as I've thought about Cotillion, thought, is he tracking down the Leozans? Like, is he in the same place as those Leozans that are walking around in chapter one? I don't know yet. Um, but it's like there's this massive convergence, and they even make extra mention to that's just the natural thing that keeps happening. Um, these races and people, and just always kind of converging, and then you see the power vacuum that happens after it, and we see not just the event, but a lot of Malazan is really looking into aftermath of things like that, and how some of those defining moments that make it into history. Remember that that note from the last chapter where you just do something crazy, and look, you're in the books now for that thing you did. But then maybe over time you can change. So that's what I've been getting the most out of this series so far. It, you know, and I keep messing up the plot and the names and things, but I at least am getting whiffs of that. Well, whiffs is the right word, because it's a nice thing. Anyway, going on to the next scene when I get a sec. All right, I'm back, and I just did the next thing with Gruntle and Mappo, and uh, Mappo. I wonder what's going to happen with this guy, because he's been having this one thing that he's wanted to do this whole time, and that is be with Akarium. But it seems like that is definitely changed. I mean, not for him. He still wants that, but um, you still just wonder what's gonna be his final sort of journey or destination, if anything. Um, and then Gruntle, talking about these dreams that he's having, and they talk about the difference between Trach and Fenner. Uh, Very interesting. And also mentioning that Setok has been speaking of this child in the city of Crystal, which sounds like the city Icarius, right? Anyway, moving on. Really like this thing with Faint. Just a small thing. She's just kind of reminiscing and thinking of this Crystal City. She said, in thinking of Sedok too. In the Crystal City, there is a child. Beware the opening of his eyes. Um, she wants a turn with Gruntle. I mean, putting that in a weird way. And it sounds like, they're going to be. Now Mapple's going to be dropped off and Gruntle will leave, his contract done, but who's going to stay to protect the the trade guild, this, or not the whole trade guild, but this carriage specifically or something. Anyway, moving on. And I didn't mention, I don't think, that throughout a lot of these scenes, even in Dust of Dreams, there's this greenish glow in the east, which makes you think of the jade statues. Thing with Torrent, the thing that keeps getting me is it goes back to. Sorry, my dryer all of a sudden is not working well. That's the squeaking. This thing where he recognizes Olar Ethiel, and also as the dawn comes up, she vanishes. And isn't that what the Teblor ones, the what did you call them? The Imass, who were the Treblor gods or the Teblor gods. Um, it is interesting that when the sun comes up, then they do that. Does that have to do with? Anyway, I'm not gonna speculate here. Holy cow! How did I not pay extra attention to this Olar Ethiel lady? I know she's been in the other books, but I just kind of passed over her. It won't be that way on the reread, I assure you that. She is super interesting. Got it confirmed that when Tool was released by Silver Fox, and then this Olar Ethiel kind of brings him back, makes him holds him to that vow. Uh, Man, the Jagged are interesting for some of their little, like, they're just so interesting. The Tist Andi, the Leozin, the Edur, the Talani Mass. Like, they all have these little things about them that are so interesting and that they have to kind of work through. She just killed Balljag and is going to take Tool's son away, because as far as I understood it, she needs a way of really kind of directing Tool. When we got Karsa at the start of House of Chains, I thought this guy has a lot of potential to him, but he just needs to be kind of redirected. And now that Tool has kind of been like activated, you could say maybe she would use the sun to kind of direct Tool in a way, right? Holy smokes. Holy smokes. And where's Gruntle going to head after this? Well, Mappo left, and he is still struggling with stuff. Interesting at the end here, Icarium, I will find you. Icarium, please save me. Man, I love Mappo. Geez, it feels like the whole party is breaking apart. Also, something so interesting that I guess I just considered, like they're all leaving. These children, Talk's children, um, in a sense, right? Like they're all doing these other things, but these children need help. I'm a little bit confused by some of this, like where Talk is right now. Um, but if it echoes what might be happening in Calance, I mean, not the same thing, but those kids, like, we don't know why they left. If it was just from horrors and they had to leave because of the trauma, or if they were left behind in some way, in the same way that maybe these guys feel like they are doing, right? A lot to think about. And man, just wonder what's going on in Calance. Interesting that they're before leaving. I think Gruntle has already taken off, but um, Setok, I think, asks Cartographer what Gruntle said to him before leaving, and he said, "The past is a demon that not even death can shake," which has been a big, that's been one of the underlying things in this series. Even when people die, they are sometimes taken up into their deity, or to Hood, which is terrifying to the people, or if you're Tistandi, just feeling like you're just a carcass, just going to nobody, forsaken. But even this has the past. This has some of that kind of. It meshes into that idea, and also, Cartographer said, "I told him this. I have found the living in my dreams, and they are not well." Man, isn't this amazing? What a way to end this. All right, this scene with Masan Gilani, or Gilani, and the five unbound uh, Talani Mass. They find the place of this battle in chapter 23 of Dust of Dreams, where they see that the Bone Hunters must have been a part of this battle, and Tavor might be still alive because her Ototaro blade is, you know. Um, Ototaro blade. Was it also? It was an Ototaro blade in Bone Hunters, right? That parents snapped apart and used that little sliver of it. Um, might be getting that wrong. They talk about Shadow Throne a little bit, and it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on these guys. Is Bottle dead, but not? Like, is he undead now? Ruth and Gud, I'm glad that he's still alive, so we're going to get some more answers about that guy, I think. He found Bottle somehow, and it sounds like Quickben sort of was a part of keeping Bottle tethered into reality or whatever, either alive or maybe, like I said, like, is he in a different sort of, like, is he dead but he's back sort of thing? I don't think that, but just something to think about. And it looks like they're going to go look for the uh, others, since it's been 4 or 5 days now. Whoa, this last thing with Quick Ben. It sounds like he's talking to Mother Dark here and maybe referring to Father Light. Um, he has this, he's still alive. He has this wooden scepter, and it sounds like he's also saying, "Beware the sun." I don't know if they were talking about, your son opened the way, is that Animander Rake? And then his son, if he wants the scepter, that would be Namander, right? He'll have to come and take it. I don't know if that's who they're talking about. But it's very, very cool. Glad that he's back in that we're gonna get some POVs of his. But I forgot to close it out. The very last thing. Then came a tapping of a cane from Rock. Getting another visit. Now Shadow Throne's visiting Quick Ben. He's going to be visiting a whole bunch of people during all this. See where Chapter 3 takes us.